Unfortunately, Senate Democrats have begun justifying their opposition to Judge Gorsuch by claiming a 60-vote standard for his confirmation. That standard doesn't exist, and these claims continue to be false. A party-line filibuster by the Senate minority is not a fair up or down vote.
Well, the SCOTUS picked Neil Gorsuch, finding himself in the middle of a partisan Senate showdown. So what needs to happen for Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to keep his promise and confirm Judge Gorsuch next Friday?
Here we go. Let's welcome Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, I know fundamentally you don't want to see anything break from tradition, but it might to get him okayed.
It might. The Senate has, it's not only a tradition, it's a rule that if anybody wants, they can force the Senate to raise the majority to do anything from 50, or 51 actually, to 60. That's called a filibuster. In the old days, you would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and then you would pass on to somebody else. The only way to stop the talking, the filibustering, was the 60-vote majority. At one point, it was a 75-vote majority. Then they lowered it to 60. Today, they got rid of the talking. You just sign a note, I'm prepared to filibuster, and that raises the level to 60. Has this been done to a Supreme Court nominee before? No. Why is it being done to Judge Gorsuch? A couple of reasons. One, the Democrats claim this is a stolen seat. They think it should have been filled by President Obama's nominee, correct, Judge Merrick Garland, a year ago, shortly after Justice Scalia died. So they're bruised about that. They don't like Judge Gorsuch because he's too conservative for them. Guess what? The president gets to choose the ideology of the nominee. That's our system. Lindsey Graham articulated this very nicely when he said, here's why I'm voting for Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Here's why I'm voting for Justice Elena Kagan. I don't agree with them on anything, but they're qualified, and the president has the right to choose whoever he wants, providing that person's qualified.
Okay.
The Democrats are not taking that position.
Well, in the past, historically, some recent SCOTUS nominees have wound up with, what, 52 votes?
Yes.
But nobody said, hey, I'm going to filibuster you.
This is the first time that this has been required, even for nominations as controversial as Justice Clarence Thomas, which succeeded, Judge Robert Bork, which did not succeed. They did not require that 60-vote plurality. So what has to happen? There are 52 Republicans. If 8 Democrats vote with the 52 Republicans not to have the 60 votes, then it'll be a simple up and down vote. If that doesn't happen, then the so-called nuclear option comes in. That means changing the Senate rules to prohibit the 60-vote requirement for Supreme Court nominees. Now, there's some resistance to that, because both sides like that, to use that rule every once in a while.
Here's what's interesting, though. There's so much hypocrisy here, because in 2013, when he was up for the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, correct?
Yes.
The Democrats liked him then. All unanimously liked him. Now they don't. Listen to this. This is Chuck Schumer in 2013 versus what he's saying today.
We'd much prefer the risk of up or down votes in majority rule than the risk of continued total obstruction. That's the bottom line, no matter who's in power.
If Judge Gorsuch fails to earn 60 votes and fails to demonstrate he is mainstream enough to sit on the highest court, we should change the nominee, not the rules.
No, he's a smart guy, and I respect him. I disagree with him on just about everything. I think he's wasting political capital and tarnishing his own leadership by the manner in which he is obstructing the orderly process of this nomination.
But it's not just him. It's Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut.
Yes.
He's saying he's really the one who's threatening the filibuster.
Yes, I have a prediction, and the prediction is that Democratic senators up for re-election in 2018 in states that Donald Trump carried will vote for Judge Gorsuch.
Senator will vote for him because Senator Nelson in Florida is facing a huge challenge, maybe even from Governor Scott, and he really is surprising people by saying, I'm against him. I am voting against him.
I am surprised that Senator Nelson's doing that unless he's planning on retiring. But these people that are going to run for re-election in states in which Trump beat Mrs. Clinton, I think are going to see the light.
Can anything delay next week's vote?
Yes. That would be very bad, Brian, because the week after, a lot of Supreme Court decisions are coming down, and if they're 4-4 and Judge Gorsuch has just joined the court, guess what? They get to retabulate.
But they can only delay once. I thought they could only delay once.
Well, they can delay once, but they can delay it for a long time.
Absolutely.
If Schumer's good at anything, it's delaying.
And saying no. All right, Judge, thank you very much.
Pleasure,
Thank you, Judge.